Shannon, should Porzingis have been ejected?
Skip, he just has to be more careful. He has to be more cognizant of what's going on. First of all, he shouldn't have got the first technical because that was a clean block on Paul George to begin with. So that, Skip, there's emotion in the ball game. I mean, when someone does something, I mean, it's just like any sport. You get like, come on, man, I can't, that's bull jive. And they teed him up for that. But this is what I want people to understand. And I want Adam Silver, I need you to take a look at this. That Kane Fitzgerald now, there's nobody down in the bubble. But a lot of times he thinks people come to see him referee.
That is true. I agree.
Because he's the guy that threw LeBron out because LeBron asked him a question once upon a time.
I remember
So
well.
he's quick with his whistle. Kane Fitzgerald, nobody's coming to see you ref the games. Skip, it changed the entirety complexion of the ball game because when Porzingis went out, they were up 5. They lost their rim protection. They lost their second best scoring option, and they lost their second chance opportunity because after that they could get no second chance. They couldn't get second rebounds. And the big guy, what's his from the Clippers,
Zubac.
Zub.
Yeah.
He was playing volleyball with it. Back to himself, dunking it home. He had 5 offensive rebounds. That hurt him, Skip. It really did. And they were playing well. It was a nice 2-man game. But once you could tell kind of like the energy just drained. Luka tried to keep it going. He was giving everybody the business last night, Skip. He was special last night. But I think the biggest thing was for him early in the ball game, Skip, he was too hyped. He had 5 turnovers in the first 3 minutes. It seemed like
4, I think.
Yeah.
4, 5?
Yeah.
Is it 5?
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it's
go
5.
ahead.
But he was Skip, he was just too. Yeah, I got 5 for the first 3 minutes of the game. He was just too anxious. You know, he knows what this is, playoffs. I'm in the playoffs. This is my opportunity. I'm going against the Clippers, one of the better teams. And once he settled into the game, he played outstanding. But, Skip, that technical foul changed the complexion of the ball game because he got that second technical at the time. And when he got it, the whole momentum shifted and the Clippers just took off because up until that point, they were averaging 120 offensive rating. And after that, it was 18. They went 3 of 19 from the three-point line after he left. In the first half, Skip, remember, they were 12 of 21. They couldn't miss. And then all of a sudden, Porzingis went out and they couldn't make a shot. So he changed the complexion of the ball game. I do not believe, by the letter of the Skip, since we do it, the letter of the law, he received this technical foul. You get 2 techs, you get automatically tossed. But I don't believe he should have got a tech for that because what did he do? Walk up on a guy? Come on. That, in a playoff game, you got to let that one go. You let the combatants determine it on the field, on the court. You don't throw one of the better players out and then says, okay, go play now. So I do think it had a big impact on the game. Now, who knows? Maybe the Clippers win. Clippers started playing a little better. But I would have liked to seen had Porzingis stayed in that ball game, what the outcome would have been.
Okay. I am going to concede this.
You concede?
I told you yesterday I thought this would be the Clippers' toughest series because the Clippers were playing only their 13th full roster game out of the 73 they have played so far this year.
Okay.
And all you needed to know about last night was Montrezl Harrell played 15 minutes after not having played a single dribble of NBA basketball for 5 months. Doc threw him in there for 15 minutes. And there were times he looked like he'd never played basketball before because that's about what's going to happen if you ask him to do that. It's just completely surreal to be seen. Montrez with no bubble games, no scrimmages, 3 of those, no real games, 8 of those, and just suddenly go play. Okay, how?
And he was tired because remember Doc called a timeout and Doc said, you gotta run. He's like, I'm trying.
Go.
My body won't let me.
So I'm going to concede to you that I believe the Clippers would have lost this game if Porzingis had stayed eligible for the rest of the game. It's going to be a tough, long series for them. But if they can find their groove, their rhythm, their flow, if they can figure out how to play together under playoff pressure, once they start to click, you're going to be in trouble. I just don't know how long that's going to take because Dallas on offense is extraordinary. Remember, they set the all-time record for offensive rating, whatever that second-level stat is, but they set it all time. Nobody had ever had an offensive rating like the regular season Dallas Mavericks. And you saw it in surges last night because it was a bizarre game. The Clippers come out and blow them off the floor 18-2. Then they give up. The Clippers did a 48-14 run. Are you kidding me? So would they have sustained that kind of run through the third quarter. It was 9-10 in the third quarter when he was ejected.
Right.
Okay, now back to the first foul, the block in the first tech. Okay, I thought, if we could see that play, I thought that Porzingis hit Paul George on the right arm first. It's the first contact is on the right arm. I don't know if we can see it sideways. I thought he got him. It was a clean block, but he goes up and he gets him on the right arm first. He hit him right across his elbow. That's a foul. He hits him on his right elbow clean and hard, and then he clean blocks it. Okay, whatever. I would have called a foul.
Right.
But the problem is, it is the letter. It's not even the letter of the law. Right. It's just flat out in the rule book. If you throw a fist in the air in the direction of the referee, it comes off as a hostile act, and they're just going to say technical foul.
Right.
And Porzingis, ironically, is not a guy who complains a lot.
No.
He's not a fighter. He's not a bad guy. He's not a troublemaker. You know, it's not that guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of soft to me.
Right.
That's his problem. He's still a little soft. So he just throws a fist in the air, and it's just silliness. He's not even thinking twice about it. Tech. Okay? Now you're in trouble.
Right.
Now you're on thin ice, because if you get another one, and you have to be mindful, you're our second best player.
Right.
Some people might even think he's the first best, but he's 1-2, 2-1.
Right.
And you better stay eligible the rest of the game, or you're going to lose the basketball game.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happens the next time? This is 9-10 left in the third quarter. Marcus Morris was doing a pretty good job on Luka. He was doing the best job of any defender on Luka. Marcus Morris is a tough guy.
He is.
And look at his plus-minus for the game.
Yeah, he had the best of anybody.
He was by far plus 25. So when he was on the floor for his 32 minutes, his team won the game by 25 points. And he held Luka to 3 of 6 shooting. Everybody else held him 9 of 14. He was doing more damage to other people. Marcus is shrewd, sly, physical. I'm not saying he's a dirty player, but he is going to get up in you.
Right.
He is going to punish you and make you earn it physically from him. So in that case, Luka got him. And he knew Luka had him. And so he just said, okay, I'm not going to let you go and one me. I'm just going to wrap you up. And I thought he did so by his standards fairly gentlemanly.
Right.
Like he just sort of held on to him. Luka, who gets roughed up by everybody, because remember, the book on Luka Doncic.
Right.
Get physical, rough him up, and try to knock him emotionally and psychologically out of the game.
That's the book on all European players.
Okay, but that's what happened to start that game. You're saying 5 turnovers in the first, whatever it was, minutes.
Right.
But he got piranha'd, man. They were just coming at him from all angles because they are going. You just know what Doc was preaching and teaching in shoot around and meeting. We are going to get physical with him.
Right.
Try to knock him out of his comfort zone, off his game. Okay. So now Marcus wraps him up, as we see.
Right.
And now Luka, who's been beat on the whole game, he doesn't love it. So he shoves back a little bit and sort of shrugs it off. And now, to Porzingis' credit, he says, I'm not going to let my little baby brother take that kind of abuse from Marcus Morris, because he knows Marcus Morris is known as an enforcer type tough guy.
Yes.
So he comes over just to stake his claim and back up his little brother. And I'm good with that. I liked it. I was like, way to go, Kristaps. You know, that shows me something. You would do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he comes over, and all he did was put a hand on Marcus Morris's chest. He didn't shove him. He just did a stop sign. Like, okay, that's enough. Straight out here, but not here. Marcus obviously shoved back. Okay, boom, now it goes up, and Kane Fitzgerald is saying, okay, technical on you and technical on you. Both of them get a technical. Unfortunately, one guy's already got one, and he's gone.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't like the refereing. I don't like the...
Nope.
Okay, and they said, we can't be aware that he already has a technical. Yeah, you are. You come on.
Yeah, because you gave it to him.
You gave it to him, and he's trying to say we can't process that as part of what's happening. You know, this has to be independent of the first technical. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But it's not good. It's not fair refereeing. It's not smart refereeing. The smart refereeing would be just to break that up and let it go.
Correct.
But they
That is
said,
correct.
You know, it's like he's the guy who's coming in to incite. You know, he's going to provoke.
No.
And it's always the first guy in, but even if Marcus responds, then but they gave both of them a technical. Okay.
And that's what he's basically coming. Hey, come on, guys, break it up. Okay, Mark. Okay, you spin him around, Marcus. That's good enough. That's all he did.
Would anybody have cared if they had just quickly broken that up and let it go?
No, because we've seen him do that before.
Come on. We've seen him do it before, and you changed the game.
Yes.
Again, I don't know for a fact that the Clippers would have lost.
Right.
I just believe the way the game was trending, they're up 5. I thought they were playing with such confidence.
They were.
I believe they would have won that game.
And Skip, like I said, I don't know. Maybe the Clippers, because the Clippers, can turn it on and they can go on stretches just like the Mavericks went on a 48-14 run.
Yep.
The Clippers are well capable of going on a 30-6 or something, a big run of themselves, because they got guys that can put the ball in the basket and they can turn you over in a hurry. Hence the 5 turnovers in the first 3 minutes by Luka.
Yep.
But to have that big of an impact, the mere fact that we're talking about it, and I can assure you we're not the only ones talking about it, lets you know the impact that Porzingis' technical ejection had on this ball game, which it should have never done. If you lose the ball game, if he stays in, I don't get what did it hurt by letting him stay in. Okay, I don't think Adam Silver guys, you gotta, this game was getting out of hand. Skip, I can see if it was out of hand, guys were getting chippy earlier. And, you had a lot of back and forth, and it's like, okay, calm it down.
Yep.
But that's not what happened.
That is not what happened. In the big picture, if there's any silver lining for the Mavericks, I think Luka, he talked about it after the game, he really appreciated that Porzingis came to his defense.
Absolutely.
That was a big breakthrough moment for them in their growth as a dynamic duo.
I forget the player, but you remember when the player hard fouled LeBron? And then all of a sudden he got on the corner and then Kyrie hip checked him out of bounds.
Yep.
Right, that's what
Okay.
If you're going to grab my player and spin him around, guess what? First chance I get, I'm going to spin you around. That's just the way it works. That's in any sport, Skip.
Yep.
You hit my player in baseball, you hit my best player. What is the pitcher going to do on the other team?
Okay.
He's going to brush you. He's going to hit you.
Okay. Now, back to your man, Luka. He was highly impressive in one way last night, and that was taking high-quality defenders into the lane. He has a gift, a knack. He has a genius for somehow, at a slower speed, it's awkward to defend.
That's
because
probably what it
it's
is,
kind of hesitation. It's like, oh, I think I got him, and then I don't got it.
Right.
I think I've trapped him here. I think I've stopped him cold in his tracks, and all of a sudden, he's shifting into some other weird gear, and he's Euro-stepping around me.
The problem is, Skip, is that he's moving so slow, and you're moving so fast, you beat him to a spot, and he's not even to that spot yet.
He's not to the spot yet.
So he goes in a different direction.
Right, and he's not going to jump stop on you. He's still moving.
Right.
He's still got his dribble weirdly. And this was a big night for him because he took on 3 highest quality wing-type defenders who are his size or bigger.
Yes.
And they're all stronger, and they're all grown men, as you might say, right?
Absolutely, yep.
And he was taking a beating and giving it back.
Right.
He was getting to the rim. Even Kawhi would get frustrated because it's like, I had him, and at the last second, I didn't have him.
Pause.
I beat him to the spot, and then he beat me to the rim. It's some weird gift that he has.
It is.
It's Rodman-esque because everything's below the rim. It's not like he's going to high fly on you and slam on you. Nope, he doesn't do that. And I'm going to remind everybody again, he's not a good shooter, but last night he's been a very average to below average free throw shooter this year. By the way, he shot 75.8% from the free throw line for the whole regular season. That ranked 85th of 118 free throw shooters. So it's not great.
Right.
But look what he did last night.
14 to 15.
14 to 15 will work.
Yes.
He better start making because that's Harden-esque.
Well, Skip,
because he can get to the line.
And he'll be just like Harden. If he shoots 80%, he'll average 30 points a game for the next 4 or 5 years.
Totally agree. 3-point shooting, no good.
No good.
For the regular season, he's 31.6%, which ranked 140th of 147. He's almost at the bottom of 3-point shooting. He did make a couple, 2 for 6, but one of the 4 misses was a big old air ball.
Yes.
Okay, he's not. He can fix that. We've seen Magic, we've seen Jordan work through it and figure out a shot. That Magic figured out a set shot, just a feet on the floor shot. And it started to work. Well, this kid's only 21.
21. That might be 21.
I think he's 21 now. Whatever. But he's got lots of time to try to figure that out.
Skip, he's trying to step back from 40.
Okay. All right. But he's got guts now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely, Skip. Once like you said, he's 21 years of age. So in a couple of years, when he gets that, if he can shoot 35%, Skip, you were not asking him to be Steph Curry.
No.
You're not asking him to shoot 40%.
It would really make him lethal going into the lane.
He averaged 40. If he shoots 30, 40.
If you had to start honoring the step back jumper, or it's not a jumper, it's just a set shot.
Right.
If you had to honor it, woo. Now
that's what makes James Harden so special, Skip, is because he created that shot because we know he can slither his way to the basket. And Luka has some. Skip, Luka is stronger than you think. When you look at him, you looking like, man, I don't see no muscle. He ain't got no muscle like Kawhi or LeBron. Or, he ain't muscular chisel like that.
No.
But all I know is guys be bouncing off him, and he going right to the rim and laying it up.
He actually looks better post-hiatus than he did before. I think he's done some good things to his upper body. The point is, he took a beating last night, and I don't know if we have the video of him walking up the ramp to the locker room. Mm-hmm. He looked like he was a battered soul, man.
Right.
He took I don't know if we have, but here we go. It just looks like he was, look at this. He just looked beaten, battered, worn out. He gave a lot of energy and took a lot of abuse in that game. And Paul George made a strong point, I believe it was on ESPN in the post-game interview, that we went after him and we took a lot out of him. And if this is going to be a long series, it's going to wear on Luka. So I'm going to be very interested. He is a sore, tired young man. He's probably still asleep. I hope he's still asleep right now. That when he wakes up, I know he's just 21, whatever it is, but this took a lot out of him last night.
What he does have on his side, Skip, is youth. And when you're young, your body can recover a lot better. Now, he gets to be 30, and he takes a beating like that, he will feel that a lot more than what he feels it. Because when you're 21, Skip, you're like, man, you just pop up out of bed and everything is hunky-dory. But for him to have, and he's gaining confidence, Skip. He's like, hold on, I'm doing this to a two-time Defensive Player of the Year. I'm doing this to Paul George, a preeminent defender in all the NBA. I'm doing this to Pat Bev because they tried to put Pat Beverly on him, and Pat, he's like,
for a while it worked.
He's like, Pat, you just too small. Marcus Morris, and we know Marcus is not a great defender, but he's physical. He's going to just try to beat you with physicality. And he's like, no, I'm going to the rim, and you can't stop me.
Now, the Clippers did not ever resort to let's take the ball out of his hand. They just said, we're going to play you straight up. They're proud of who they are.
Because, Skip, when you double some, but when you start trying to take the ball out of his hands, they have guys that are capable of making three-point shots. And I don't think Doc wanted them to get back into a rhythm because in the first half, they had a nice rhythm. They were 12 or 21. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they went stone ice cold. In the second half, they were 3 of 19. So what that told me is that Doc's like, look, we're going to play him straight up. We'll let Luka do his thing. Hopefully he'll cool off here. But we don't want to let Seth Curry, we don't want to let these guys, Hardaway Jr., get hot from the three-point line because that's what got him back in the game and gave him that big lead, Skip.
I agree.
Is the three-point ball.
Okay, now to why I still love the Clippers. This team is mentally tough from top to bottom. It's got a bunch of, if you want to say dogs, who have that dog in them. They're a bunch of guys who will take and make big shots. And the one thing that impressed me last night was I thought they were still going to lose the game even without Porzingis because it's the kind of game where you keep saying, okay, we're okay, we're okay, we're okay. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And you blow it because they rise up without Porzingis and start making shots of their own. And if we could see what happened down the stretch, starting with 4:27 left, look who made shot after shot after shot. Here's the first one. This is Mr. Leonard, who had a big game last night with 29 and 12 and 3 steals and 6 assists. That was a big basket. That put them up 5. Then the next one is 3:06 left. Here comes Pat Bev from the corner, and he had missed a couple, and he shot that one like he meant it, and that put them up 6. And here comes the newcomer, Marcus Morris, and he just said, no, I got this. And that put them up 7. These are dagger kind of shots that hold off Dallas. And finally, it's Paul George's turn. And he just says, I got this. Boom. And that was basically the dagger ball game up 8. So they kept making big shots from different sources because all those guys are mentally tough clutch shooters when called upon.
This was the Marcus Morris that they thought they were getting from the Knicks. The way he played last night.
And by the way, do you recall what happened? That was a bidding war to the wire between the Lakers and the Clippers. And at the wire, the Knicks said, we want, to the Lakers, we want Kyle Kuzma. Are you going to, or are you going to
right.
not? So right now, you could have Marcus Morris if you didn't have Kyle Kuzma.
But the thing is that basically at first it was just going to be, we're going to trade some parts and some cash. But then the Lakers were unwilling to part with Kuz, but the Clippers
had a first that they could give.
Yes, and the Clippers ended up trading a player and a first.
Okay, so are you happy right now you have Kyle Kuzma instead of Marcus Morris?
Yeah, I'm happy with Kuz.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
He is your biggest X factor. He comes and he goes, he hits and he misses. Marcus Morris is there every night for this team.
No, he not.
And he will defend, and I'm not sure about Kyle defending.
All I know is the last time you saw Kuz, what happened?
He can do that.
Splash!
Yeah, he can splash like crazy. He can also dive into the pool and completely miss the pool.
That's okay.
Right?
That's okay.
Yep.
Don't worry. We got these two lifeguards. We got these two lifeguards that'll show him where he need to go.
Well, you know what? We're about to talk about both of those lifeguards. Both of them.
We're going to show you how to do this thing.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to do it tonight.
Well, I hope you're better than the Clippers were last
Don't do that.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.